We are now. It is now time for the equity education panel with two teacher leader experts. Dr. Jemelleh Coes is the 2014 Georgia Teacher of the Year, and Josh Parker is the 2012 Maryland Teacher of the Year. Both are board members of the National Network of State Teachers of the Year and are the project leads on NNSTOY's equity programming work. And so welcome, absolutely welcome to both of you. The first question is, we've had a just really dynamic and engaging keynotes this morning. What are your reflections and thoughts, and what's really resonated with you so far today?
For me, there's so many connecting points that are really resonating with me. What Deputy Secretary just talked about, and teachers knowing our students by name and by need, is so important. And it becomes so important, especially when thinking about what challenge that Reverend Barber had for us, which is to think about how we are advocating and making sure we are intentional about advocating, because the truth is we are the best advocates for our students because we know them by name and by need. And it is by design, unfortunately, that teachers don't have time, parents don't have the time to advocate for their needs because they have to work or have other things going on. But if we are not at the head of that leadership work of ensuring equity, ensuring access, ensuring opportunities for our students and our children, then other people are leading that work. Other people who don't know our students by name and by need. So it just becomes increasingly important for us to be paying attention to those things and paying attention to where our dollars are going to support the needs of our students.
Yeah, Jemelleh, those two words also struck me. Knowing students by name and by need, that was powerful. And I appreciate Secretary Cardona giving us words that this is the time for us to advance equity, not to retreat from it. I'm left really wanting to think throughout today's sessions and beyond today of we have to teach the nation to transform the nation by Reverend Barber. It's this call that I've always said that in the end, what will save education is education. But it's this idea that teaching is both the profession and the vehicle that we have to use in order to transform this country to what it can be when it's at its best. So I really want to think about, how is my teaching transforming folks? Right? Am I teaching about things in education and beyond? Because as Reverend Barber said, there are interlocking systems of oppression. So how can I teach in a way that reveals those sort of interlocking systems and then inspires these interlocking systems of liberation? So we have to teach the nation to transform the nation was really a reminder to me about how focused I have to be. Sometimes I think when I'm engaging with people, that engagement is key, and that is important. But I can never forget the importance of the teaching, the paideia, the pedagogy, the method. I can never forget about teaching about these things that are happening to lots of people so that we can then transform together to become the country that we desperately need to be when we're at our best.
Yeah, and NNSTOY is focused on elevating the voices of teacher leaders to improve policy, practice, and advocacy with an overall emphasis on equity. And NNSTOY has a long history of work in equity. The Social Justice Book List, NNSTOY's 21-Day Equity Challenge. If you've attended any of our July National Teacher Leadership Conferences over the past 10 years, you're going to see an overall emphasis on equity. However, NNSTOY is really pleased to announce two new equity projects. Teach for Equity, which is we have multi-year partners with the NEA Foundation and with Curriculum Associates that are helping support that work. And also Build for Equity with initial support from ETS. Josh and Jemelleh, you are both project leads on both of these projects. And can you share with us a little bit on what they are and why they're so important at this time?
Absolutely. So when I tell you that I am extra excited about this work, I am extra excited about this work. And as Bob said, this has been doing equity work for a long time. So we are not new to this. We are true to this. We've been doing webinars. We've been doing all sorts of outreach, all sorts of advocacy in schools, outside of schools, individually. We've been doing this work a long time. And what makes these two projects that we have now currently so exciting is that other people are starting to see the value and they are starting to put money behind them. Um, so that makes this work increasingly important, and we see that there's other buy-in from other stakeholders into this work that just makes it more exciting to do and to put out into the world. So we are thankful for those who are supporting the work so intentionally. So one of the projects that we are working on is Build for Equity, and Build for Equity takes a look at what is happening in line. Now, we all know that there is something happening in the teaching pipeline. Either we can't get people interested in the profession, we can't retain the teachers in the profession, or there's something that happens where that there's some other breakdown in professional learning so that teachers aren't advancing as they would like to advance. Their voices aren't being feel like they are not being valued, and something has to give. Something has to give. One, because our students deserve it, right? Also, teachers, they're everything into, they're pouring their hearts and energy and time into the work because they believe in the sustainability of our nation, growth of our nation, and they should be supported in that work. So our Build for Equity program looks at what is happening in the pipeline and what we can do to provide better outcomes for teachers and for students. What's different about the project that we do with Build for Equity, because we know that there are lots of studies, this is why teachers leave, the teachers stay. Our approach to the work is looking at every single sector. So we are looking at human resources, so hiring practices. We are looking at communities. What is at the root of communities? We are looking at teachers of color. We are looking at teachers of various demographics and why they stay and why they choose to leave. And we are coming up with some very interesting and new findings that we didn't see in the research after lots and lots of reading. And we are excited to share a lot of that with you. In fact, today, we have a panel, another breakout session around our Build for Equity work, and I hope you'll join it just to hear about what's happening and what are some of our initial findings as we build this framework that school districts can actually use, not sit on the shelf, but actually use to change what they're seeing in the pipelines in their school districts.
Yes, and I'm so excited, just like Jemelleh. Like it's such an amazing time to be a member of NNSTOY and a supporter of NNSTOY. What a great time! And I want to talk about support and our Teach for Equity plan. I couldn't do this work without my partner Jemelleh Coes. So I want to start with that, and then I also want to appreciate so much Bob Williams and Lauren Cantel and their tremendous leadership and support with this. We are a team, and I am very excited. In fact, the Build for Equity team, Justin Minkle, Lee Ann Erickson, Brenda Tufty have been wonderful partners with us as we have engaged this work. And so I'm just happy. And what I'm even happier about is the NEA Foundation. So shout out to them, as well as Curriculum Associates, for helping us build out what I think is going to be a monumental addition to the field of teaching and learning. And that is our Teach for Equity framework. We have Dr. Richard Warren and Dr. Meg Freeman, who are working with us to develop a whole habits of equity model whereby we can actually see all the things people talk about. This is what equity looks like, or this is the right framework, or this is the right thing to do. Well, how do we actually make it live in conjunction with our desires and our goals? And so this entire model, which will be developed over the next year, is going to be a significant entry into the teaching and learning field. And it's going to be made by teachers, for teachers. It'll be vetted by lots of folks. And I, again, want to thank my partner in this work, Jemelleh, Bob Williams, Lauren Cantel, the team that we've assembled, and the NEA Foundation for believing in us, and Curriculum Associates for believing in us as well. So this is quite a time for you to jump into this work with us. Everybody is useful. So if you want to come into this work, email Lauren Cantel, email me, Bob, Jemelleh. All the hands coming in from all the different places can help make this work even what we want it to be. I'll close with this. When I think about all the hands supporting and making this work, I think about that powerful video by Reverend Barber when he said joining hands together across difference actually makes a difference for everyone. So I want to invite everyone that's on this call, even right now, join us. We can't do it without you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll just say once again, it is very exciting that teacher leaders are doing this work in powerful ways, and NSTOY is going to really contribute something really meaningful to the field. I know if someone says what's about a teacher leader, you can look at the teacher leader model standards. When we talk about equity, what does that look like? We're going to have a habits of equity model framework, a cultivating diversity framework, and this is very exciting. So thank you very much to our panel of Josh and Jemelleh, and we look forward to more updates on this work as we move forward. And special thanks to the NEA Foundation and Curriculum Associates for making a multi-year commitment to supporting this work, and ETS for helping us initiate the Build for Equity work. So thank both of you. Okay, we will now, it is now time for our breakout sessions, and we're going to be beginning the first of 2 breakout sessions. So what you should do now is, if you can go back to the main page to select a breakout session, and you will click on the breakout sessions. You have 3 breakout sessions to choose from, and then there'll be a short break, and you'll have the another breakout session, and then you will come back and be sure to be back here at this place at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time for the closing keynote by Dr. Richard Warren. And so if you could, right now, you have 5 minutes before the first breakout session begins. Go back to your landing page, select one of 3 breakout sessions, and I'll see you back here at 3:15 p.m., 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time for Dr. Richard Warren's closing keynote. Thank you.